Previously in the recap, Sync was summoned by a weird dog to the world of Beastmen by the order of the dog Princess Melfi. Because her kingdom was being oppressed by the Lion Kingdom constantly, and in this war they were being constantly losing against her, and the war has now reached their capital. But the twist was that this was more like a competition rather than a war, because the soldier turns into a puff animals the moment they get hit, and the power of the Floyen world also protect them from getting injured. So to save Biscotti Kingdom, Sync obliged to her request and fought against the Lion Kingdom and even secured their victory. But the problem was that Lion Princess Leo and Dog Princess Melfi were actually very close friends, but for some reason she has turned her back on Melfi. Later, it was revealed that Leo witnessed Melfi and Sync's deaths and wanted to protect them, which is why she went to such lengths. Now, as the story progresses, Princess Melfi and Sync had plans to go for a morning walk together, and they went to the flower garden, which was Melfi's favorite spot. There, Melfi told Sync about the weapon he has, which is actually a sacred sword, although it can take any form the user desires, but the real form of it is actually a sword. And it's another pair as with Melfi. This weapon signifies the ruler of the Biscotti Kingdom, but the shape of a sword is something not even Melfi has seen. At that time, an announcement had come directly from the Lion Kingdom's ruler Leo in a press conference. Leo was putting her royal axe at stakes for the next war against Biscotti Kingdom. This is similar to Melfi's sword ring, which only the ruler of the kingdom can have, so if she was putting the royal axe in line, Melfi now has to put her royal sword in the line as well. And the winner gets to keep the royal treasure for 60 days. It simply means that if Leo wins, she will become the ruler of the Dog Kingdom for 2 months. Currently, the entire Biscotti ministry is in a bind, and in the midst of it, a Lion Kingdom spy was apprehended by soldiers, but she came only to deliver a secret message to Sync. It was from the Prince of the Lion Kingdom. His name is Gaul. He called Sync there to state his intention that he doesn't want this war, but he has to obey his sister's orders. Gaul begins to tell Sync that throughout history the Lion Kingdom and the Dog Kingdom have been allies, but this time even Gaul is unable to guess what is on his sister's mind. But nonetheless he wants Sync to win this battle. And Leo knew what his brother was up to because he met with Sync privately and she wasn't bothered by his decision. Then on the same day Melfi announced in front of her subjects that she would accept the battle proposed by Leo and stake her royal sword in it. So Biscotti has divided their troops into 2 groups, one of which will advance to the border of both countries to engage in battle and the other will protect their base of operations. And this time even Melfi will participate in the battle. As for Leo, she only revealed the prophecy of Melfi and Sync's deaths to her closest allies, Vial and Lorzen. Leo expresses her determination to save Melfi at any cost, even if it means stepping down as ruler and handing over power to her brother Gaul. Then, on the other side, Melfi was moving towards her designated location with an entire cavalry, but on their way, Vial ambushed her to steal the royal sword and turn the battle in their favor in an instant. But it was also a trap set up by Rico to trick them into thinking she was Melfi, but she was actually Rico, a scholar of the Biscotti Kingdom. And the actual Melfi was with the Sync on the front lines to face Leo because she wanted to meet with her face to face to find out why they were fighting in this war despite their past friendship. They were on their way to the floating fortress where Leo was staying. They made it through their front line and successfully infiltrated the floating fortress, but Countess Dalkian was receiving a very strong presence of a demon from there. Unaware of any of this, Leo requested Melfi for the battle at the top of the fortress to have a one-on-one duel with her. But the moment she arrived, Leo's mate attacked Melfi in the hopes of stealing her sword, but while defending against her, the royal sword took its actual form, just as Leo had predicted. But Sync became concerned about all of this and decided to climb the walls to the top to support Melfi, but suddenly the entire battle stage began to rise because of a demon that had appeared. And that demon began his attack and Leo's entire purpose was to save Melfi, but while in a moment to check up on Melfi the demon made his move. And Melfi jumped in to protect Leo, which resulted in Melfi's capture. Leo tried everything she could to take back Melfi, but the demon is simply too powerful for her to handle. And when Sync and Eclair learned of the current situation, Eclair told Sync that Melfi is still alive, but only until her sword has the power to defend the princess or else. It's just a matter of time Melfi gets devoured by that demon. And what's worse is that the power of Floyen there was weakened and Sync is unable to use his weapon on its full power, even so he made that floating board to at least try to catch up with the demon. But the power was still lacking for them to catch up to that demon. So Eclair jumped off the board to give Sync a push with her remaining power so that he could reach up to that demon, but the demon's defense was still at its peak. And Melfi was still unconscious in a bubble there. Melfi was in a dreamlike world where the soul of the earth god revealed to her that the demon they were fighting was her child, who had been turned into a demon by a sword and gone berserk to the point of devouring his own mother. It wasn't his wish to do something like that, but because of that sword, he knew nothing but to cause destruction. Even at that moment, that child's only wish was to be killed and be free of this pain. So Melfi holds her emotion and promise to save them, and that pure feeling was making her sword even more powerful that she was able to get out of that demon's world. And then Sync's sword also appears to the response of its twin blade. And with both of them, Sync and Melfi released the dark sword that was stuck in that earth god's child and vanquished the demon, but the moment that sword got out, it was trying to make Sync its new host, but then Leo fired an arrow with all her remaining power to shatter the sword. But even that power attack couldn't stop the evil sword, so Delkian and Yuki stepped in to destroy it and put an end to its terror, and as everything returned to normal, Leo declared the battle over due to the sudden appearance of the demon. And when everything was done, Melfi and Leo bonded right before Melfi's consort, and Sync now wanted to return to his own world again. But Rico had searched through all records and discovered that if he returns to his world, he must leave everything that belongs to this world, including his memories, which made him sad. And Rico cried out, so Sync took only a promise from her not to tell anyone about this detail. Then the moment comes when Sync is about to return to Earth, but as the circle was activated, Melfi couldn't help but confess her love for Sync. But it was too late and meaningless now that Sync has returned to his world and forgotten everything, but not his feelings. After some time, Rico discovered a way to once again bring Sync to this world. And thus the anime came to an end. If you enjoyed the recap, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to receive the most recent updates.